All right, today we're diving into a legend that is just wild. We're talking about one of Africa's most powerful ancient queens, history's greatest lost treasure, and a story that claims to solve a 3,000-year-old mystery.
This is the question, right? It's captivated treasure hunters, archaeologists, and, filmmakers for centuries. It is the ultimate historical cold case. Where in the world did the Ark of the Covenant disappear to?
And this is where our story takes such a fascinating turn. The trail, it seems, leads not to a soldier or some thief, but to one of the most powerful women of the ancient world.
But first, to really get what was at stake here, we need to talk about the prize itself, the Ark of the Covenant.
So let's be clear, this is not just any old treasure chest. In the biblical tradition, the Ark was considered the literal throne of God on earth. Think about that for a second. It was an object of immense, almost unimaginable power, supposedly capable of winning battles and communicating the divine will. Losing it wasn't just losing gold. It was like losing a direct line to heaven.
Now, let's meet our protagonist. You might know her as the Queen of Sheba, but in Ethiopia, her name is Makeda.
And in Ethiopian tradition, Makeda was no minor royal. Far from it. She was the architect of a dynasty, a figure of just huge historical importance, whose legacy is still felt to this day.
Her domain, the Kingdom of Axum, was a major player in the ancient world. It wasn't some backwater. It was a trade hub connecting Africa with the Middle East and beyond, making it incredibly powerful and sophisticated.
The scale of her kingdom's wealth was just staggering. This wasn't just a comfortable monarchy. It was fabulously, unbelievably rich, which gives you a sense of the immense power Makeda commanded.
And her status was unmistakable. When she traveled to Jerusalem, she arrived with a caravan of 800 camels, every single one of them loaded down with gold, precious stones, and exotic spices. This was a statement of power.
But her visit wasn't about showing off her wealth. No, this was a strategic mission. Think of it like a high-stakes intellectual duel.
So Makeda had heard all these stories about King Solomon's legendary wisdom, and honestly, she was skeptical. She journeyed all the way to Jerusalem just to see for herself if the man lived up to the myth, and she came armed with riddles and questions designed to stump even the sharpest mind.
To be crystal clear, Makeda wasn't some vassal coming to pay tribute. She was a peer, a fellow monarch, on what was essentially a reconnaissance mission. She was there to size up a potential rival and an equal.
Solomon, of course, was completely impressed by her intelligence and her beauty, and according to the legend, he devised this really clever, if, unconventional, plan to win her over.
Okay, so the plan unfolded in 3 parts. First, the deal. He made a vow with her, a very clever little legalistic trap. Then, the meal, a spicy feast designed as a brilliant biological trick. Finally, the trap was sprung. Her thirst got the better of her in the middle of the night, and she reached for a glass of water. And boom, Solomon caught her, declaring that since the water was his, she had broken her vow.
Now, on the surface, it seems like Solomon won. He tricked the brilliant queen. But the legend suggests something far more complex was at play here. What if she wasn't tricked at all?
And this is where the legend has this brilliant twist. Makeda, it said, saw right through Solomon's plan. But instead of being offended, she saw an opportunity. She recognized that a union with him would produce an heir who could secure her kingdom's future for millennia. She was playing the long game.
The consequences of that single night would change the course of history for an entire nation and send the world's most sacred object on a journey straight into legend.
Makeda's plan worked. She returned to Axum and gave birth to a son, Menelik. He was the product of 2 powerful rulers, and he was destined to found a new imperial dynasty.
Now, the core of this legend is recorded in Ethiopia's national epic, the Khyber Nagast. It says that when Menelik grew up, he visited his father in Jerusalem. But when he came home, he didn't come alone. He brought the actual Ark of the Covenant with him, replacing the one in the temple with a replica and secretly transporting the original all the way to Ethiopia.
And this story is so much more than just a myth. It's the founding principle of one of the longest and most enduring royal lines in all of human history. This direct lineage from Solomon and Makeda became the bedrock of Ethiopian imperial rule. To be emperor, you had to trace your bloodline right back to this legendary union. It was a source of immense legitimacy and power.
I mean, the sheer scale of this dynasty is staggering. From its legendary founding around 950 BCE, it continued all the way to the 20th century with its 225th emperor Haile Selassie. His reign only ended in 1974. That's a nearly 3,000-year legacy, all rooted in this single story.
And the story doesn't just end in the past. To this very day, the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church maintains that the Ark of the Covenant is housed in the Chapel of the Tablet right next to the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion in Axum. It's never seen by the public, protected by a single guardian monk who dedicates his entire life to watching over it.
Which leaves us with this final, really tantalizing thought. While the world searches for the Ark in deserts and ancient ruins, could it be that the answer lies not in a lost location, but in a living tradition protected for 3,000 years, all thanks to the foresight of one brilliant queen?